Welcome back to another episode of Crystal Fishing. It's been like 6 months since we made a video. But we're back, and we're gonna be back for the summer. We're filming some stuff now, and then we're gonna be back for 3 whole months in the summer. So stay tuned. It's currently 5:45 a.m., and we're gonna drive to the boat ramp to meet some guys we never dove with before. We will see you at the boat ramp.
Everyone always talks about the dream trips. Clearwater in the Keys, remote islands, passport stamps. They say the best fish are always in someone else's backyard. But what if they're wrong? Tampa isn't a spearfishing destination, but for those of us who grew up here, it's a treasure trove. It's not easy water. The viz isn't always kind, but that's the point. You work for every shot. You earn every fish. But for the few willing to brave the long boat rides, the fickle weather patterns, and the sharks, just to find the one reef patch for miles around, the Gulf can be the fishiest place in the world, even if the viz is a little green. Welcome back underwater, everybody. Today we have an absolute banger. Went out diving with people that we had never really been diving with before. This was back during the spring, so we were in our nice, warm, cozy 5mm wetsuits. You can see the viz was pretty good. It tends to be pretty okay when the water's cold and if you get a good weather window, but most of the winter it's super windy. Today that was not the case. Really calm, really nice day out. We went up to the shallows. We had this spot called Grouper Slab that we found a few years ago in Clearwater that we really liked, and we know that this time of year it's pretty loaded with hogfish, and it's one of the few spots that you can get decent sized mangoes in the winter, because normally during the winter the mangoes go offshore and they come back in the summer. So I see a nice mango right here. I line up on it and blast them. And I'm taking mangoes here that are a little bit smaller than the average size you see in the channel for the summer, just because the ones that stick around aren't normally the big monsters that you see us get over the summer. Barely had this guy on. Like, you can see the shots like in the very top of the fillet, but I got him. Into the boat he goes. Alright, taking another drop. We had a group of, I think it was 5 of us diving, so there's a lot of people taking drops, and we're in 28 feet, so we were a little bit lax with the one up, one down policy that we normally have when we're diving. But this is the slab itself. This is what the spot is named after. And what's super nice about it is that on the inside of the slab, there's just tons of grouper. You can see the mangoes are around. You can see how dark they get in the winter too, which is also really cool. And as I'm looking around, I call in this nice little hogfish. What's interesting about a lot of these hogfish in the wintertime is they do get a little bit spookier than they are in the summer or whatever. Like a lot of the big hogfish that you see in the Bahamas or pole spear or whatever, when you get them in the warm water, they don't care at all. They just let you come right up to them. But sometimes in the winter, they get a little spooky. I don't know why.
Alright, so my camera died right when I shot this guy. Oh, damn. I'll bring this guy over here. I gotta kill him. Evan! Okay. Kill it.
Don't look at me like that, dude.
Kill it. Kill it.
Don't look at me like that, brother.
Kill him and gill him.
You got a thick head.
Alright, we moved to a different sort of area so that we could let the slab reload with hogfish. And the hogfish that I shot on the last dive was a female, but it was very clearly like 15, 16 inches fork length, which for the Gulf is perfectly legal. Most of the time we don't shoot female hogfish like as policy because a lot of them aren't legal, but sometimes we can tell, hey, that one's pretty big for a female hogfish. So this dive here is also one of those times where I see a female hogfish, but I'm fairly certain that it is legal. Measure it on the boat and it's totally good. But most of the time we don't shoot female hogfish. We were just like kind of struggling to even see hogfish at the beginning of the day. We thought they would be all over the slab. We thought they would be at this second spot, and we just didn't really see that many big males, so I was like, I would rather have some hogfish than no hogfish. After this shot, though, we make a move, and the big hogfish problem goes away, which you will see momentarily. But I stone this one, pulling her up, get a couple of fillets off of that one, and take another drop, hoping to find a nicer sized hogfish than the ones that I had previously shot. So I'm getting down. You can see here the reef has some more slabs, and there's also like some natural bottom behind it, which is perfect for hogfish. And this guy just rolls right in. Nice male, you can tell by the shape of his head. Much bigger. Blast him and bring him up. And my hair gets in the camera a couple times during this video. That's my bad. I got a haircut right after it. I actually need a haircut now because I'm about to dive for 3 days in a row, but alas. So yeah, nice big male hogfish. That's kind of what we were looking for. I just put him on my gun so that I could get straight back to diving. And thank God that I did put him straight back on my gun, because on this very next dive, after having this hogfish just kind of sit on my shooting line, I see another very nice hogfish. And here you can see just like all these slabs piled up. Not the original grouper slab spot, but still like within 200 yards of it. Nice big male hogfish right here. Plug him, bring him up to the surface. Great double hogfish little dive there. They're both around the same size, but that second one was a little bit bigger.
Evan, I got another one.
Booyah.
Tied Evan. We got a happy cooler. I don't even want to dig through all that, but we got like 10 hogfish, bunch of sheep's head, bunch of mangoes. Good day. Evan's in the back over there. Flat calm. Flat calm.
So after getting more than enough fish for myself, my family, I decided that it was time to challenge myself and use the pole spear. I wasn't really fishing for the cooler. I was mostly going for sport and getting some more fish so that some of the guys could take fish home. We had 5 guys, 5 families to feed, but I had shot enough fish for the day. I see this huge hogfish in this concrete culvert, and I have to plug it. It's nice and hurt. You can tell by the blood coming out of its gills, which is great. There's another hogfish, so I'm trying to tell Evan to go dive on it.
There's another big hog.
It's really good when you've got like tuna or blue water hunting, when you see the blood come out of the gills like that. You know it's really, really injured. Got some third-person footage, and I cut the fin on all the fish that I shot to know which ones were mine. Here we have Evan. I'm third-personing him with the big camera. There's like a little silica packet that got in the dome, so that's what you're seeing on the bottom of the screen. But I end up calling him over to this spot where there's some nice mangoes. He's swimming over. He starts to see where I'm talking about. Slowly make his way over there. Lines up on a nice mango and plugs it. Unfortunately, the mango gets stuck on the bottom, so I have to hit a recovery dive right after to grab that guy for him. But he gets a good shot in it, so this recovery dive is pretty easy. So I'm heading down, and I thought that it was inside the pipe because I thought that he strung it, but actually it was on the other side here because the shaft had hit the rock, so the fish hadn't been able to get strung, so it ran itself into the side there. It was pretty easy to just grab him, pull him up, and hand him on over to Evan, branding him on the way up. Almost let go of him, but I didn't. There's Evan's fish for it. And for my last couple fish of the day, I was like, I've got the mangrove, I've got my hogfish. It would be kind of cool to get a little slam. Even though I don't normally shoot sheep's head, I was on a boat with guys that like to eat sheep's head. So I decided that I was going to go and shoot one. And right on that dive that I decided, a bunch of sheep's head just came right on over to me. And I was looking for the biggest one before I let the pole spear fly. And kind of hesitated for a second. I was like, maybe there's a big mango in this hole. But when there wasn't, I look back up at this school of sheep's head. I see that big one right there in the middle, and as soon as he turns and gives me a good shot, I let it fly. Ended up being the biggest sheep's head of the day, which, as they get bigger, they actually kind of taste a little bit worse, so probably shouldn't have taken such a big one, but I like big sheep's head. They fight hard, and this spot is where I shot a really big sheep's head a few years ago when we first found it. So it was a nice little nostalgia memory. You can tell that they're big when their face gets closer to that hump. And this is the last dive of the day. And just kind of a chill, just hopped right into the spot, and as soon as I hopped in, I took a drop down just to see and check out what was going on. And there's just a good bit of life on these pipes here. Viz is, again, just really good for this time of year, because normally it's super windy and it kicks up all the sand and stuff. Got the spadefish above the reef, got all the pipes hanging out, and I'm just kind of looking around, seeing if I can't see a nice mango or a nice hogfish. And I'm going to look back in a second and see a pretty nice mango. And he's just kind of chilling, hanging his head out of the pipe. Hangs out a little too long. And he's mine. I was trying to make sure he didn't get wrapped around that rope. That would have been a real pain to deal with underwater. He didn't get wrapped though. Got my mango, and that is my last fish of the day. So I will see you guys in next week's episode. I hope you've been enjoying the new style of intro, and if you've been watching all the way through to this moment, go ahead and drop a subscribe.
Alright, so we had an absolute killer day, as you all can see. We got some nice hogfish here. Show for our day. We got some nice sheep's head, some mangroves too. But we have a lot of filleting to do. See you guys tomorrow.